Hey, this is Sam from Shure. In this video tutorial, I'm going to pick back up on the equipment profiles topic and talk a little bit more about how you can manage and create equipment profiles of your own in Wireless Workbench 6. I want to start with a little bit of a demo. I'm in the frequency coordination tab in Wireless Workbench, and I want to start by just calculating some frequencies for this BLX system in the H10 band. And what I've done is I've blocked off all the TV stations except for 2 in my particular range. This is an example of, let's say you were trying to install 10 frequencies of a particular system, and the place where the venue says you can only use these particular ranges of frequencies to install, to put the 10 channels you need to get there. So if I run a quick sample calculation, you'll see as often occurs, the space allocated for frequencies is not sufficient to fit the frequencies I want to get in there. I've only found 7 to 10, which isn't going to do if the client needs 10 frequencies on air. So what are our options? Well, we've got a lot of options in the compatibility tab that Wireless Workbench offers. Now, this is a pretty advanced set of tools that help for iterative frequency coordination and allow you to experiment with using different compatibility profiles. But let's say, as an integrator or an installer, I do these sorts of installations all the time. And I want to make sure that every time I'm coordinating frequencies for BLX, I've got the flexibility to put a lot of frequencies in a really small place. And maybe it's not BLX, maybe it's another system or anything like that. What I want to do is I want to basically modify what Wireless Workbench considers as compatible for BLX in a more permanent fashion. And equipment profiles can help us do this. If I open the Equipment Profiles dialog and I navigate to Shure, where is my friend BLX? BLX4, H10, let's see, I've got the 4R H10. The Filtering and Intermods tab is the tab that shows me all the spacings that correspond to this particular system. So what I really want to do is make these spacings more narrow so that more frequencies can fit in a particular range. Now the problem is I'm unable to save any changes to this particular profile because it's a stock profile. And what I mean by that is it's an equipment profile that Wireless Workbench comes with. It happens to be a Shure system, but any of the equipment profiles that are baked into Wireless Workbench by default are not editable. And the reason we prevented this editability is we wanted to make sure users had a known golden image, safe state to get their coordinations back into that we believe are going to be compatible and work reliably. Now, I understand that there are a lot of professionals out there who just frankly know better and know that they can be more aggressive with spacings based on the RF environment or the position of transmitters and receiving antennas. So in order to customize the spacings, you just have to take a little bit of a separate step, and I'll show you that right now. You basically need to modify this equipment profile so that it is, instead of a stock one, it's a customized one. And it's a very simple operation to do. We basically just need to give it a new name. And so what I mean by a new name is, as long as we modify either the manufacturer or the model, we can basically copy the contents of this particular profile under a new name. So what I'll do is I'll call this dash new. And by changing the name of the model to something different, my save button has woken up, and now I'll be able to save any changes that I made to this profile. So really quickly, I'll just make these spacings a bit more narrow per my expert opinion, which you'll just have to trust me with. Let's see. So I made some narrower spacings now, and I can save these changes. So when I'm saving these changes, I'm not saving them to the Shure BLX4R H10. I'm actually saving them to this new profile that you'll see appear and become selected once the save takes place. So now I've got this new BLX4R profile created, and I can use this as an equipment profile to do subsequent coordinations. Now, basically what I did is I just copied the spacings from an existing profile and pasted them into a new profile by just changing the name. But the same sort of thing could be done if I'm adding a brand new system. Let's say there's a new AKG or a new Sennheiser system that you'd like to use that we don't include. You can copy the spacings from any type of system you want, whether it's from the same model or a different one, just by changing one of these names and then tweaking the tuning or filtering and intermods tabs to your heart's desire. Once that's done, let me show you this in action. So now I need to remove the stock profiles version of these H10 systems, and I'll add, let's see, the new device is added right there, the BLX4R new, and I'll add the H10 band and add 10 frequencies. And you'll notice when I try to calculate frequencies, all 10 are found. in that very limited space. And this is thanks to the modified spacings that I tweaked in the custom version of that equipment profile. So basically, just to recap, what we talked about was the equipment profiles that are included in Wireless Workbench, how there are certain stock ones included, but you can use those or start from scratch if you desire, but I think it's really handy to be able to use those as a starting point to create new ones. And within a custom equipment profile, how you have the flexibility to edit and tweak spacings as much as you'd like. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. If it raised any questions or you'd like to see something more about this particular topic, be sure to leave us a comment down below. Thanks.